You all sit over there.
I'm trying to make sure. I know it's going to kick on in just a second, so I have to turn it down real quick.
Hey, Sean, Alaska, Miss Diane at Justice Acres. How are y'all?
How are y'all doing? I'm trying to get to see if it kicks on. It's going to do it in just a second. Still trying to load on my end. Well, we'll give a second for everybody to get on. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. I beat it. I beat it.
For the first time, I think, ever.
Beat it. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Mimsy. How are y'all? Y'all doing well? Finally got it all hooked up, right?
I've got a bump in my hair and it looks awful.
I don't think anybody's worried about your phone. Hey, Homestead, Gravy Business and Life. How are y'all, man?
It's kind of like just...
Miss Rebecca, how are you doing? Stacy, what's going on? Miss Cecilia. Let's see some people coming on. Hey, Miss Vicky. How's everybody's evening tonight? How's everybody's evening so far, anyway?
I have to be honest. At the end of the day...
Yeah, I think it's almost our bedtime.
Yeah, at the end of the day, since we've started school, I have been completely pooped by this time at night. I don't know if it's just... I really don't know what it is. Doing good, have thunder.
Hey, Rehab
no
Life.
Rain, though. You know,
hey, Resolution,
we got probably 3 minutes of a medium rain, and then it was gone. And we need rain desperately.
Hey, Rebecca Stanley says, you kids look so young.
Oh, my heavens. Well, thank you.
We'll take that.
So much.
I used to not like that. Now I like it a lot. So. Hey, Miss Darlene, how are you?
I have felt overwhelmingly stressed for the past 2 weeks. So
she said her eye was twitching when school started again.
Yeah,
so.
we I mean, and it's not a bad thing. It's just I feel like I'm so busy.
Hey, Grammy Karen, what's going on?
During the day and between trying to keep the house picked up, get everybody's school done, get everybody fed, 3 meals cleaned up. It's just like, I feel like a busy bee. Well, we've had some pretty tough days at work, too.
Yeah, it's been some long days at work, but really the farm's still rolling, too. So I'm kind of glad that our garden season has come to an end right now because we've been so busy.
Everything but the okra is pretty, it's played
Thank you,
out.
Miss Diane at Justice Acres. We hope to stay young for a little bit. It flies by.
Our age may be young. I sure don't feel young at heart anymore.
Yeah, so for instance, if we were still in full on garden mode right now, starting school, it would be kind of hard for us. I'm kind of glad that our garden season kind of ends right now. We have a lull basically until about September, so it's pretty nice. So, hey Maria, how are you? Gracie Deanne. We're not going to tell our name yet, but we got one name. We have agreed on one name.
I guess when we get it together, whenever that'll be, we'll let y'all know. But we do like one name. The middle name just hadn't matched. There's a name I like, and Colby's like, that's too old school.
No, I'm fine with it, but it reminds me of my dog, you know. Hey, Prep Studying with Nana Benda. Rehab Life said he was a little disappointed that we didn't live stream the whole reveal.
Oh, well.
I was betting on boy, too.
To be honest with you, I was not expecting. I invited, Colby's family's huge, and I invited our families and 3 groups of our kind of close friends, just so they could be here with us. And I was really shocked.
I agree, Matt. A resolution.
And I did not think that we were going to have that many people come. I thought it was going to be a much smaller crowd than that. So had we planned on going live, I don't think that it would have been too much. Like,
it's pandemonium. My family's huge, so we have kids everywhere.
Yes, there's kids everywhere. So when we first started doing the piñata, I was trying to do the younger ones, kind of handle them, but then I didn't want the confetti to come out and me to miss it, like messing with kids. So I finally got somebody else over that could kind of help with that so that me and Colby could just kind of stand back and watch. But I think it would have been like crazy. Had we tried to do a live stream, it would have been
Rehab Life says, do not name her Edna. That was my grandmother's name. It's not Edna.
I feel like it's a little old fashioned, but I like that. But it's not that old fashioned.
Not quite Edna.
Not quite Edna. That does remind me of a grandmother, and I would say her name could be trendy, maybe in the early 1900s and trendy now. So we'll see.
Man, no problem, Sean, Alaska. Hey, I bought me a French press, by the way, Sean, Alaska. There's one thing I saw a while ago. We are way outnumbered, by the way. They were talking about my face in the video. That's why I covered most of my face up in the picture. Hey, Serenity Hill. But yeah, we're definitely outnumbered. We thought we were going to try to balance it out. I really thought I had a good win. I prayed hard.
We don't get to
hey,
decide
that's okay.
that.
Long as she's healthy, that's
thankfully we don't have to. We don't know the future, so we don't. God knows it all, and He's got it all under control. So thankfully, He's in control of that business, and He knows what we need. And a girl it is.
Absolutely. Our 3 girls were happy though. They were very happy.
They were very
Especially
happy.
Harley.
We went in dirt cheap today, and I wanted to go look in the baby section for some onesies and stuff because I let his sister borrow.
Hey, I'm gonna try the French press, by the way.
0 through 12 months in the boxes.
Hey, Susan Bass, how are you?
So we went and picked those up from her today because I'm trying to go through some of my stuff and see what I have. And like, it's gone through 3 girls, so some of it is raggedy. So I threw several things in the garbage today that just had old stains and holes and just that wasn't any good anymore. And then we stopped by Dirt Cheap, like I was saying, on the way, and the girls were looking at the little bitty girl, like tiny little girl clothes, and they were just squealing. And yes, but Serenity Hill said his plan is better, and you're right, his plan is always better. So even though we kind of had in our hearts hope for a boy, just to have 3 McMorris boys and 3 girls, but we're excited. She's healthy. On her scan, everything was good. I think we told them that last week. Everything was good. They didn't see anything as far as the scan. They scanned from head to toe, and everything was good. So that was the most important thing.
Sean Lasky, you're right. Again, it doesn't matter for us. We just want them healthy, and kids are fun. We have a blast with them. Annabella, congratulations on grandbaby number 9.
Wow.
That's awesome. Rebecca Stanley, we're not close. We're actually in South Mississippi. We developed a friendship with Walker Farm Fam through a collaboration, and they watch a lot of us, and we watch a lot of them based on their beef cattle and our dairy cattle. So we kind of had some fun with them. I wish we were in that area. I think y'all are rocking it over in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But we're not. We're actually in South Mississippi. From Arkansas. Good to see you, Hat Creek, again. Thank you for coming on. McLeod, how are you? Hey, I think that the pouring concrete right now, I wish we'd pour something just so we have some rain come on. Our rain has stopped. And if you're in the cattle, dealing with cattle like we do, you don't need cattle to not have rain because grass is just dying right now.
Yep. Sean Alaska said he has the grandbaby number 3 on the way. That is awesome. When I had Jennings, it was totally boy season. Everybody that I knew was having boys, but it seems like now it's kind of been half and half. So I'd be curious to know what grandbaby number 3 is going to be. That will be interesting.
I'm confused. What?
I was saying that when I had Jennings, there was like 10 of us pregnant. I had several friends, people that I had went to school with, and we all had boys. Like I told Colby, I was like one of the last ones to find out. And I was like, there's no way I'm having a boy. Everybody is having boys. It's going to be a girl.
Ooh.
Like what are the odds of that? But every single one of us all had boys that year.
Truthfully, we were hoping just to have, out of all the children, you always plan and everything changes, but we really hoped to have one boy at least to carry on a family name, but also it to be our oldest. So we were blessed to have at least 2 boys. I was one of a big family, and I was the only boy. So
I'm glad they at least have a brother. Your dad was 4 boys, and all of those 4 boys. So that was a good Morris name. But then the 4 boys only had 2 boys.
Yeah.
And then you 2 boys only had 2 boys. So the boys really went down to almost nothing. But then now our family has only had 2 boys. So.
Yeah. So it's not a lot of us left. So we're hoping that they really.
My daughter has a boy. She is hoping for a girl. Has a boy, so she's hoping for a girl. I will let you know.
Yeah, Sean Alaska.
Yeah, it's fun to have both. I mean, to me, boys and girls, when they're little, they're natured so different. So it's fun to have like that difference.
Oh my gosh, Susan Bass, that would be crazy. We did not find out with our middle child.
Yeah, and that was kind of crazy.
It was kind of crazy. So I couldn't imagine having everything planned for one and be the other.
Yeah. Now we had Aiden and then we had Harley. So when we got pregnant with Ellie Bell, we decided to wait until she's born, and that was pretty tough. But I had boy and girl stuff, so we said let's just wait, and we did it. I cannot believe we did it.
Yeah.
Pat Creek Homestead said we have 5 girls and 5 boys and 2 grandbabies. Yours, mine, and ours adopted. That's sweet.
That's awesome.
The bigger, the better. I mean,
all you people that's getting rain, please send it our way. We really need that. So
Rehab said that they weren't blessed with any girls. They have 2 boys, 30 and 37. Hey, that's still awesome.
So what's been going on your farms? We'll leave the baby conversation for a second. So tell us what's going on your homestead, your farm, or what's going on. That is crazy. I think I'd be very mad.
Not had any major mix-up.
I think I'd be very mad.
Boys are insane. My grandson is crazy.
Hey, North Star Prepster, how are you?
I think that is true until they get to teenage years. Boys are insane. Boys are kind of crazy and they're just wild. But then the verses kind of flip-flop as teenage because Aiden's so like easy. I'm like, hey, go get dressed. He throws his clothes on, takes a shower, whatever goes with the flow. Then even the girls, even at their age now, they're like, I don't want to wear those shoes. But I don't like that outfit. But my hair's not done right. So now they are harder to deal with, in my opinion,
Thank you for coming on.
Than boys.
Our girls are kind of hard to deal with. They can be kind of crazy. And they're stair steps, so they really make it dramatic.
Can you imagine when we have 4 that are like all up in the age, it's going to be drama central up in here.
So, again, tell us what's going on yours. No more baby talk.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Bandana Grandma, what's going on? How are you?
Drama, boys equal heart attack. I can definitely agree with Jennings is already jumping on, like he sees the girls, like, because they're not supposed to stand up on the couch, right? But they do anyway. He'll say, Mama, watch me. And he's jumping off of stuff. So, yeah, boys heart attack. He's had enough injuries. We don't need any more injuries with Jennings. Hey, Sherry McMillan, how are you? Welcome to our live. 5 girls and 2 boys. Boys are easier. I'm in agreement with that, Grandma, especially the older they get.
I got 3 ducks left of 5, only 5 baby chicks. Well, oh gosh. Well, Nana Benda, I'll be honest with you. Our poultry and waterfowl, I love listening to them, especially in the mornings after I milk. I love hearing the turkeys and the ducks and the chickens and the roosters. We have had to clip keep their wings clipped. But that's one thing on the farm. I know everybody has chickens and goats, but chickens and any poultry, I love them to a point. But then, that you can't just, even with pigs and cows, you can wrangle them. You kind of can get them all together. But chickens, I don't care what you do, unless they're meat birds. Meat birds, they'll follow anything. But I tell you what, these poultry, they stress me out. Stacey said pulling up all the stuff and composting it. Sherry doing great. Homesteading, engraving business and life. Just canned the first tomatoes. Had a neighbor's peacock visit the kids today. But that was fun. That was fun. All right, so how are the bees? We have one hive with high mite count I just treated. Watch when you have the high mite count because ultimately that brings in hive beetles, which ultimately bring in wax moths. So it is a compounding step-by-step process. I had to clip my chickens' wings. We live in town right now. Yeah. Keep them clipped. Yeah. But our chickens are not as bad as the turkeys. The turkeys and roosters. Our ducks don't get out at all. Yeah, the ducks have been the most easy. I know, man. Laid back. They're kind of like our sheep in the sense of our ducks really have been pretty easy. They are, but our turkeys. The good thing about the turkeys, though, I will say this: they'll get out. They'll get out a lot in the nets. Even if we cut their wings and all that stuff, they'll get out. Here's the one thing about turkeys, though: they don't go far. They love being right there at home. They're homebodies. So when they get out, they chill right by their
And they
nest.
don't scratch a whole lot.
Yeah, and then
like
when,
our roosters are out there constantly.
Yeah, and so even when we have to put them back in, they don't run around like crazy from you, and you have to chase them in the woods. They just kind of stay right there.
Our roosters are terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I hatched. They don't know what we're talking about. So I hatched in February, like 30-something birds.
Sherry, you're in Mississippi. Chickens. How awesome is that? We're in Southwest Mississippi, about an hour south of Jackson.
Yep, not in town. Yeah, you can't have cockadoodle doodles in town. All right, so in February I hatched like 30-something chickens. Well, we lost a few when the lights went out. We lost some. We lost some to hawks. So we still have like what 20-ish. Yeah, that are hatched from February. I hatched all of those. So we still have like 20 something, and like what 12 or 13 of those are roosters. Yeah. So we had like a horrible hen rate in that hatch, and those little suckers are super fast, and they are constantly jumping over our electric fence. So we called a few the other day and clipped their wings, or Colby did clip their wings and put them back. But there's what 2 or 3 that's still out that we can't catch.
Oh yeah, 2.
And they're just too fast for us. And usually what we do is get them up close to the net and pin them in, round them up, and then pin them into the net. Which I'm not really, at almost 21 weeks, I'm not really in the shape to be running after roosters right now. So Aiden and Colby had to do it, and it really needs to be 3 or 4 people. The way our place is set up, because you kind of have to round them in.
See you then, Amanda.
And ease into the net, but they're so fast. If there's 2 people, it's like they can almost get around you because they're so fast. Now, not all of them are like that, but we have some that are just super. What did I call one? I used to call one Roadrunner because he was so fast.
We don't need as many Roadrunner. I mean, and really, we have so much chicken. We really don't have. We really don't see a purpose to kill them either.
Well, we talked about going out to get all of our hens out and put in our main coop with all of our other ones. And then we're probably going to take the rest of the roosters, or at least half of them, and sell them.
We need to sell them. We really don't need to cull them because we have chicken
too many.
Days.
Yeah, we have too much chicken.
A whole other broiler set.
But if that would allow somebody else in our area to have a rooster to mate, because we're doing it together. To mate, because incubating eggs is like a huge thing this year. So, if somebody needs a rooster for that purpose, I would be glad to help them out.
Well, Drops Family Garden, we the thing about the roosters though, even if they don't start cock-a-doodle doing, by the time they're ready at adult age, if you're using them strictly for meat, especially heritage birds, they tend to be a very skinny chicken, right? That pullet stage to adult. So if somebody's raising roosters to kill off, just make sure you're getting a bigger breed. Definitely.
Just get a bigger breed, like you said.
Yeah, we have the olive eggers and the Jersey Giants are a lot bigger, but the olive eggers and the Americanas and all, they don't tend to be big. So Simply Southern News, what's going on?
Misty, are you feeling well? I'm hoping this baby is eating a sleeps for your utility. Yes. When I got to about 15 and a half, right at 16 weeks, really past that nausea stage, which was probably the hardest for me in my pregnancy, is feeling so sick. But feeling much better. There are times at the end of the day where I feel completely exhausted. I'm just fatigued. And yes, Jennings was a terrible sleeper. I was up every 2 hours with him for almost a year. So I'm definitely hoping that this one sleeps better too. I was telling Colby this afternoon, she is more of a afternoon and night. She's most active in the afternoon and night. When I get up in the mornings until probably shortly after lunch, I don't feel her at all. But then she's like crazy, like I can feel her right now. She's crazy at night. So she might not be the most chill at night, baby. But
I'm glad to see some people getting chickens and new to chickens. That's really cool. We have raised chickens probably for 10 years.
Shauna likes to say he's planning on chickens in the spring. So
Yeah, so we've raised them for about 10 years. We've actually not had to buy any chickens. We raise all our own and incubate our own eggs. The only chickens that we're buying right now are broilers.
This is her first year with chickens.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Congrats on having the baby girl. Thank you so much.
The coolest thing for us is the ducks. We were not expecting to enjoy ducks, and really we just got the ducks because we need the turkeys because we kind of ran into them. But
and I wanted duck
really
eggs.
Like them.
I wanted the ducks for eggs.
But it wasn't what we were just shooting for. I mean, it's just like we got some turkey eggs from a friend, and they said, "Hey, we got some duck eggs too," and really just kind of gave us the duck eggs because we were buying the turkey eggs.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed the ducks. We've had ducks before, but really we raised them to the point where they just flew off. But these are runner ducks, so they've done really well. So our kids have never slept all night, so we don't even know what that even means. Grammy Karen.
Yeah, none of ours.
And Bandana Grandma.
None of ours have. Ellie was probably the best sleeper, and she was 3 and 4 hour stretches on good nights.
That's a good thing, Stacy. Usually, if they're laying. After about 2 years, you can start learning to replace your chickens. To where that third year, you have new ones coming up at the 8 to 12 months, and they're starting to lay as those are going out. So
the ones I have out there are Easter eggers, olive eggers, Jersey Giants, and they are already I know we've gotten a few eggs out of there already. I just hatched them in February. 1st of March, I think, is when they actually hatched out. And they're already laying, so I'm happy with that.
One thing I like about these breeds we do have is, like Missy said, these breeds are not.
To avoid another slug.
That is the biggest little farm. If you ever watched that documentary and watched them ducks eat those snails and stuff, that was crazy.
Yep. That was a very good documentary too. I highly recommend you watch that.
The thing about the Americanas and the olive eggers, Easter eggers, and the Jersey Giants. They're not those chickens that you think of like Rhode Island Reds, where people always buy Rhode Island Reds, or even Barred Rocks, or even Dominickers. But they're a quick laying egg producer, and really they're pretty faithful in laying.
Yeah,
I mean, we really have had good luck with them.
Does Jennings sleep all night now? Yes, he does. In between us, which I'm hoping to transition him out of our room into either the girls or in with Jennings. Hopefully within the next few months.
Sherry, that's awesome. We have, with the land, we're actually clearing more land literally today and yesterday. We'll have a video coming out soon, but we're taking where the pig forest was and making more cattle and pasture land for our sheep and our cattle. We're going to try to raise a few more steer on our property. Y'all know we have a beef farm, so we raise a lot of our cattle away from here, but we bring the beef steers back here to raise completely grass fed.
Simply Southern Roots. So we're excited and Stacey, how old are your pullets? Ours are 6 months.
Yeah, 6 to 8 months is a good time for pullets to start laying.
I do know people that have said that their chickens are like a year old, and it took them like a whole year to start
laying. Now, if you're raising, that's right. Now, if you're raising bantams or smaller breed chickens, or you're raising.
Give them. They're not ready yet.
Stacy, that was Simply Southern Roots there.
No, Stacy said I have 3 pullets that haven't started laying yet.
I know, but I'm talking about hers are 5 months.
5. Yeah, so, y'all give them like another month, a month and a half at least.
It depends on the quality of egg layers too. Now, I mean, it depends on what kind of chickens you have.
Give them at least to 6 months. Some are going to take closer to 9 months. But I know we were getting green and blue eggs out of there.
Yeah, olive eggers.
So olive eggers and Easter eggers are laying for sure. We have not gotten any brown eggs, so I don't think the Jersey Giants are laying yet. Which we might not have any hens that are Jersey Giants because
I don't think we do
because we have so many daggone roosters. So.
Grammy Karen, just pick up and move. Just pick up and move with them. That's what you need to do. You need to. It looks like their place is pretty, so congratulations to them.
Yeah, how far will you actually be away from them, Grammy Karen? What? I can't hear you. Okay. Easter eggers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say within the next 4 to 6 weeks they should start laying, Stacey. I mean, we've had Easter eggers for what, like 3 years now? 3 years.
3 or 4 years.
I think we got him when I was pregnant with Jenny's, and he's 2. So the summer. So it would be 2.5, 3 years.
Sherry, you bought straight runs from Tractor Supply. Hey, I know a lot of people had a great luck with those. So you're right. It's probably going to be a mixture. If they're white egg layers, they're going to be white leghorns or either Americana breeds. Browns, it could be anything. All kinds there. Hey, Evans family, what's going on?
Oh wow, packing up after 30 years. You know, we've moved after just a few years, and you collect
hey, little
some stuff. So I could not imagine going through a home of 30 years to try to. That's a job for sure.
If we move, guys, somewhat done went down wrong because our homestead has taken a lot to get to our farm. Really, it's gotten it's doing good. We don't need it. If we're moving, it's a problem. So hopefully we're not moving.
Prairie blue tail egg layers.
That's cool. I've never even heard of them.
I haven't either.
That's a neat name. So, on top of that, as I was saying, we are cutting a lot of timber, a lot of our pine thicket. So our pigs will be moving to the next pine thicket behind the one that y'all see in a lot of videos. And we're going to have some more dairy cow fields and some steer fields, along with probably bringing the sheep a little bit closer too. So we're excited about that. So you're going to see a lot more of our taking raw land to get to pasture. So we're going to do some videos on that. Just so if you're seeing that you're taking a cut over basically our pine thicket and making it pasture, we will start that process. And it's the best time to do it because, again, we're ultimately going to start some ryegrass seed in this pine mulch. So I think it will do well as it starts decomposing and making great compost.
Grammy Karen said, Lordy, it's going to cost a fortune just to get the gun safe moved. That's a good problem to have, though.
I feel you there.
Simply Southern roots. We ended up with 11 roosters. They're also considered meat birds, so another first for processing chickens.
That's great.
Awesome.
That's what I'll say about Jersey Giants. Jersey Giants are not the best egg layers, but they are a dual-purpose chicken. So a lot of times people will grow them up, and they will become a heritage breed broiler.
I told my husband I would have to have a yard sale.
Well, we try, Grammy Karen. Our goal is to make sure our animals are very healthy. At the same time, we have to be very proactive in what we do with our animals. So
yeah, we learned that definitely.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Definitely. But
apple cider vinegar is a huge thing on our farm.
But we think, if I'm thinking I'm drinking raw milk from our cows, I want to make sure our cows are getting the best quality food that they can have, or basically grass that they can have, because ultimately, I don't, milking a cow drains them, having a calf drains them, our weather drains them. The last thing I want to do is make them unhealthy and me be taking something and them not giving back, or us not giving back to them at the same time.
Right. They went through a stage where they were pretty grumpy. And, I looked at Allie today, and her belly is really starting to round out.
Yeah.
Her bag, and she looks like she's.
I can't remember. We're supposed to get her vet back out here to kind of check all our cows.
I was looking at her today, and I was like, she looks like she's. I know if she's pregnant, she's not even that far along. But if you look at her, but you can tell. I mean, to me, it looks like because I guess I'm not out there with them every day. And I was looking at her, and I was like, goodness gracious.
Allie's that Borden milk cow that everybody sees on the side of the thing that's just a true fat Jersey. Just all belly Jersey.
Yep.
She's beautiful and ornery, but she represents a perfect Jersey.
But she and her stomach looked, I was like, Allie, you kind of looking like me, girl. My Americana's pretty shut down around November and don't typically start back up until March. Yeah, I don't think that ours really slow up very much at all, but we have pretty mild weather here, and we keep a heat lamp in their coop with them because we have access to do that year round.
Yeah. I will say this, if you put a heat lamp,
she's much better.
If you put a heat lamp on your chickens, especially during the fall and winter when the days start getting shorter, they will do better, and you won't lose your egg laying capabilities. I noticed I read a blog today about bedding for chickens. We use pine shavings, of course, like most people do, but in the winter, if you learn to put some hay underneath that pine shavings, It'll help insulate them, and they'll feel warmer, and they'll do better as well. Let's see. Little Feet says I got Flossie AI to a Guernsey. Hey, that'll be a pretty nice size.
Praying for her.
That'll be a pretty nice size milk cow right there. No problem. Resolution.
Where's the best place to buy a dairy cow in Mississippi?
It depends on what you're looking for. We bought ours from a friend that already had a dairy herd. The thing about your dairy cows, make sure you're picking them up. If you're looking to have a cow that's milked twice a day, you need to buy a cow that's getting milked twice a day. Here's the kicker, though. If you're looking to only milk once a day like us, you need to make sure you're getting a first-time heifer that you can train that way, or they're already used to that, because you will give your cow mastitis very quickly. Because Jersey, especially, they're used to being milked twice a day unless they have been brought up milking once. Both our cows are milked once. They were brought. One was brought that way. One we trained that way.
Yep.
So,
and they've both done very well milking once a day.
Sherry, I would say stay away from. I don't mean this mean. Stay away from sale barn dairy cows. Look to buy on farm. Try to find a dairy. A lot of your dairy. Let me say this. A lot of your dairy barn areas in this part of the state are a dying breed. It's sad. You're starting to see dairy barns shut down. So a lot of times they will sell you.
Very sad.
They will sell you a cow that may be producing 1 or 2 gallons or 3 gallons a day versus 4 or 5 gallons a day. So they'll usually sell you a very good cow, but for them they need producing, whereas you may need residential. So just look at a local dairy that you can trust. That's what I'd say. That's not heavy medicated.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any names for the sweet baby girl yet? We will have a video on the names. We have one name of the 2 names, so we'll have to get that.
Yeah, we'll let it go, I guess, when we can get it together.
Hey, Sherry,
we went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on names, and we finally agreed on one.
If we have a heifer off any one of these dairies this year, they will be sold.
Right, we won't need it for sure, because Allie had Josie last year, and
Josie will be our new
she
milk
will
cow.
raise up to be our future milk cow. And then Elsa, our other dairy cow, had Christoph, and he'll go to freezer camp, I'm guessing next
Probably early spring. So if we have any more dairy heifers, we will sell them after they are weaned as well. So.
Yep. And we've had some Ike.
Yeah.
We've had some Ike. I have to be honest, it was a little bit more, I told Colby this the other day, it was a little bit more gamey than I was expecting. And like the round steaks that I got out today had a pretty good bit of blood in them. Do you think maybe he just wasn't drained well enough?
No.
I don't know. The roast to me tasted, Colby was like, it's just because it's fresh meat.
Thank you,
But
Chairman
to me,
Miller.
it had a little bit different of a.
See, we're grass fed, so basically, I was telling her our roast is very. Our roast was when we ate the roast the other day.
Thank you, Sherry. We put a lot of stuff on Facebook.
The roast had a lot more of a gamier flavor, such as a more of a grass fed. If you think of deer, if you eat deer, it's a higher quality meat for sure. But like I told her, even when we buy it from supermarket that's organic or grass fed, the quality of our meats can be completely different from the quality that you're buying.
It wasn't bad. It was not
bad. Hey, Fancy Farmer.
It was just very strong. It's very gamey.
I didn't get that at all, but
I did.
I think it's in her mind. She's like our middle daughter. Our middle daughter will not eat chicken now or not eat our chicken. She thinks, oh, well, let me go back. Well, if she thinks it's not our chicken, she'll eat it.
Sayla has cried both times that we've had beef.
That's funny.
We had round steak tonight, and which I think if I had cooked that out a little bit longer,
yeah, we were a little late on trying to get it all done.
So it was a little tough. I don't like grass-fed beef. Yeah, it was very strong.
See, I like grass-fed beef because I'm used to. I like leaner meats, such as we eat a lot of turkey meat and we eat a lot of deer. Especially if we kill a deer, we eat a lot of deer. We just didn't kill one last year. So I like leaner meat.
Gia doesn't eat meat chicken now after the sours. After help the sours.
But Little Feet, a lot of times, if we do any kind of grain to a steer, like what we'll probably do is put more grain. And let me say this: a organic grain to Christoph because he will be fully ground beef, whereas this other one was giving us more steaks and roast.
Right.
So when we feed Christoph off, he'll be grass fed, but we'll add a little organic grain at the very end for him because we're looking to do just ground beef.
Which, having looked back, I would say now that I think that we would have probably done more ground beef than what we did ground steak.
Well, we just got so much. Let me go back. The steak I'm okay with, but like we said, probably the round steak and the roast, we probably got a little too much on this cow. But the whole purpose for us is we were looking for meat sustainability. And the thing about meat sustainability, I could tell you we could be meat sustainable on chicken. But when you're saying I'm meat sustainable and I've got chicken, you got to have a little something else with that.
Yeah.
Hey, art of creation. So for us, what we were looking for was not only meat sustainability with chicken, but with our beef. And again, sometimes you just don't want to eat ground beef all the time. So we had everything cut. And of course, it's been great. And we've had 2 different meals with 2 different kinds of beef. So it's the same way with our sheep and our deer and everything. We want to have a smorgasbord of different meats and vegetables because we don't want to get old. We like
grass-fed beef, but the roast we do not like. Yeah, and see, we had a roast. We had roast Monday.
Yeah, I think so.
And it was cooked out and it was really tender and it was seasoned well, but I could tell it was it just tasted a little gamey to me. And we had the round steak tonight and its taste was okay. It was a little gamey. Are you about to sneeze or something?
I feel like a mosquito's like flew right here and then got to my nose or something because it's like itching.
But it wasn't as tender but I didn't put it on.
That was probably our fault because we were late putting it on.
Well, I was running around like just doing
chicken with your head cut off.
Well, I really was just doing stuff that I really didn't. I mean, I didn't have to do. It was just.
Hey, Mama Homestead, what's going on?
I was just doing it.
Man, we're inundated with broilers right now. We have about 60 still in our freezer, probably at least, and then probably another 30 outside that we have to butcher in 3 weeks. And then we have another set. Which the other set's more raising now? She's looking at me like,
whose fault is that?
It is my fault. Because, when everybody went crazy and started buying stuff, I was like, you know what? Bump that. I'm supposed to buy some more broilers. Because, hey, I might become a food producer for somebody.
We were thinking that they weren't going to be here till like August or September. And then they showed up last month. And I was like, what are we going to do with these chickens? We don't need chicken right now.
Hey, I do have a freezer coming in 3 weeks, so I get to take our hog. We hadn't got to butcher our hog yet, and our hog is like sitting over there thinking, "Why me? I'm so fat. Take me out."
Well, we're waiting on our freezer to come in for him.
Yeah, our 7th freezer, no, 8th freezer.
That's why I love to grow my own vegetables. There's nothing better than homegrown, fresh vegetables out of the garden.
I agree there.
Nothing.
I'm gonna blow your mind though. I'd rather eat fall and winter vegetables than I would the spring vegetables. I think. 'Cause I like the greens. I like the greens and lettuces and.
I like both. I like the ease of the winter, winter the best. Like you don't really do much to carrots. You don't really do much to your mustard greens. I mean, you just kind of plant them and be done with them.
Oh,
there's a mosquito behind you, but I don't know. I just saw them.
I thought I knew something got on my nerves.
But anyway,
we are going to try to do a chicken share. We knew we're definitely going to do a pork and calf share this next year, Miss Vicky. But we thought about doing a chicken share. We didn't think it'd be big around here. But to be honest with you, we're going to be so inundated with broilers that it better happen because if not, we're going to be eating a lot of chicken really quick.
Well, we just don't have the space. I mean, that's the main problem. I would love to have them and have them put up, but we don't have the space. When we brought our beef home, it was like. Y'all saw the video. I mean, we literally had stuff falling out of the freezer because it was so much in there. It was just crazy. I mean, 200 pounds of beef is a lot of beef.
We have not planted our fall garden yet, other than our pumpkins and sweet potatoes, which are sown really. But we'll plant our mustards and collards probably next
Carrots,
week. Carrots.
We have broccoli. I want to start us on some lettuce again because I have really missed our lettuce.
Gosh, yeah, we get so used to eating lettuce from our garden, just picking. Really,
the ease of it, and then I did a pick up the other day.
It's about 7 months. 7 months of lettuce growing, and then we lose it for about 4 or 5 months because it's just too hot.
It's way too, like, everything outside is dying. It's so hot and just not enough room. Little Feet said they have another freezer coming too.
Yeah, we always do. Hey, Fancy Farmer, great question. Once you get a certain point, do you think you'll ever take a break on growing meat to use what you have? For us, it's a revolving door because we're a family of 5, 6, 7, and one on the way, so I got to count 8. So for us, it's always a revolving door, but we'll put probably 10 pounds of meat in our freezer. I mean, from our freezer to our fridge every week. So there's probably not a time that we'll stop growing meat. Now there will be times that we will try to do replacement heifers, more growing our herds up, like the sheep this year. Our goal will be to grow our sheep, and we'll only kill off one this year, most likely, or in this next round of
Kids eat a lot.
sheep. So
Aiden eats a lot.
But not only that, pigs, for instance, we'll get to a point where we're not going to need to process more pigs, but we may be selling piglets at that time, and then we'll become a dual-purpose farm. So there, yes and no. That's a great question.
Creation Homestead said they've started cabbage.
Yeah. So for us, it's always a revolving door to keep on doing. Now I won't grow chickens. This will be our last set of chickens probably for a year because we won't need them because we'll have enough basically to have 2 to 3 chickens a week for a year.
Sherry said she had
a rabbit in her garden
that ate her lettuce and her carrots that she had.
Simply Southern Roots, if you've got 1,100-pound steer, you will produce a ton of meat, probably 700 or 800 pounds. A lot of times, if you're doing one that big, you usually share
it with the family.
Because you better have one big freezer.
That's still double the amount that we had, and we couldn't house all that. I mean, we just couldn't.
The only reason we didn't let ours get that big is because we didn't need it. We knew what we needed, and of course, for us, it just wasn't. We didn't have the room. But 1,100-pound steer will put some kind of food.
Oh yeah,
in your freezer.
And I think you'll be surprised about how interested people are to have beef that they know where it comes from.
Hey Sam, what's going on? Resolution,
hey,
great point. Process what you need, leave meat that doesn't spoil. That's actually our broilers. This is our last set of Cornish Cross. Our next set will be the Freedom Rangers, and our goal is to produce them. And
we'll basically grow them up, get their eggs, I'll incubate them, and then we'll raise up their chicks for freezer. So we're still a while away from that, which will be fine because we're inundated with chicken right now.
Yeah, we don't need any more chicken. Hey Kim, what's going on? Something popped up on our screen. Let's see.
Remind me later. There we go. Yes, it's better to know what you eat. You're exactly right.
Now we do have a high grocery bill. Not as much now. We kind of pick and choose what we need, but before we became fully stocked in meat was probably our biggest buy. Really, the only things we buy now is more seasonal items. I mean, like stuff to season with.
Every time I sit down, it makes me so tired.
Toilet paper and stuff like that. So. Resolution, they are a hybrid. Our goal is to, we've asked people what they thought about raising Freedom Rangers. We know a couple that's raised them for about 30 years. The couple in Alabama has raised them for a season. But we know a couple that has raised them for 30 years, and they have raised and culled every year. Yes, Cecilia
also,
Jansen,
I was going to tell you the grocery store bill. What I have found that has really helped me is making a weekly meal plan. I'd done that for years, and I really slacked off shortly after Jennings. But this year, since we kind of kicked off school, I have been making weekly meal plans, and that goes up on our board every week. And then Sunday, what I will do is pull all the meats out of the freezer, get those in the refrigerator for the week. So like this week, we had vegetable soup, roast, round steak, tacos. What else is up there? There's a night we're going to do a picnic. So anyway, so then I went and pulled all the meats for each one of those meals and put them in the refrigerator. And then I did my Walmart pickup for any of the extra little items. Like if we wanted to put like something with it that I maybe didn't have, we had a cream cheese pie one night. So I'll do that week by week, and pick it up early in the morning. It's easy to do. I'm usually out and about, so.
Art of creation. No, the birds do not taste different. The Cornish cross tend to grow quicker and have a bigger breast to them, whereas the Freedom Rangers grow a little bit bigger. They're more of a foraging bird.
They're a little bit slower to grow too.
That's right. So it's going to take two or three extra weeks on them. Let's see. Stacy Wishart has started her kombucha. Awesome.
Yay.
We like pineapple. We like peach. We like grape,
we like to
apple,
drink it plain.
And then we like to drink it plain. That's what we've done lately, just because it's easy.
When you find your special day, in other words, when it's still a little sweet but not too tangy, you find kind of like that special day, it's perfect. Beth says, I need to copy your weekly meal plan.
We just say, okay, what did we not eat last week that we need to eat this week? But to be honest, we've had such a great late season tomato harvest, and we've put up so much tomato sauce or our spaghetti sauces. We better start eating some spaghetti sauce very soon.
Yep.
We always think of, okay, if I have we've provided ourselves 2 chickens for a week for a year. Then we think, okay, we've provided 50 or so cans of spaghetti sauce, which is if we wanted one spaghetti a week. And that's kind of what we've been always trying to do. It's just, okay, we can spread it out, but know what we want, because it makes a huge difference. I don't know what Kim means, the larder. I don't know what that is. We've been making a lot of sauce. Misty makes good salsa. I get to the point where now if I eat somebody else's sauce, I really don't like it. I've been so used to Misty's.
That spaghetti sauce is really good.
Hey, getting started on homesteading. How are you?
Well, I guess when you have it, said Art of Creation, they've been making sauce. I believe it was your pictures on Instagram.
Larder. Oh my gosh. So I learned a new word from all you northern folks.
Pantry and freezer.
A larder is a pantry. We just call it check the kitchen cabinet.
Before you go to the store.
Larder equals pantry. Y'all are blowing my mind here. Thank you for your northern words. I guess that's a northern word. Some of you.
Yes, larder. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I was thinking, she's saying larger, or what is she trying to say? Larder. Is she talking about a pig lard, or what is she talking about?
When I read it, that was the first thing I thought of was like render and lard.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Because we had been talking about the pigs. Never knew that either.
Check
hey, at
least
we're not the only thing. No, not the only people.
If we said that to our kids, they'd be like, what are you talking about?
Hey, Beth, you live down the street from us. Have you ever heard check the larder?
I've never heard that. That's new. I didn't know what a larder was either. Thank you. So now, because of our stupidness, everybody else knows what a larder is. So thank you for bringing out our dumbness.
Hey, Two Family. How are you?
What's up, Two Family? Hey, that's right. Mindful Homestead is in New England, and they've never heard it. Is it a millennial term, or not really a millennial term? Is it like an old school term, and we just are not preface to that?
That's an old time word. So
or privy to it. Excuse me. Hey, Stacy says she didn't heard it. She's from the South. That's so funny. I've never heard of that. I've got to say, I'm going to start using that word and somebody see if they know what it is.
I don't think we didn't watch anybody.
Laura Ingalls Wilder. That's pretty cool. I've never heard of that. Y'all taught me something tonight.
Old school. They all are saying old school.
I know. Y'all taught me something.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. I mean, we try to be old. I mean, there are many times y'all have heard me say I'm like a 30-year-old, Big Mac. A 30-year-old in a grandma's body. I definitely don't know the terminology. I might know some of the skills, but I don't know the terminology.
That's funny.
Sherry said she's never heard of it.
I've never heard that. That's pretty cool.
So at least we're not the only one.
Well, what makes it feel good is you learn something on the Maxidate. You learn something on the Maxidate.
Sam Walden said I ain't never heard of it either.
I think we're definitely old soul. I would think that represents us pretty well.
Kim said I'm totally an old soul.
I wish we could go to
my body might not be there, but my heart and mind is.
I wish we could go to the what's it called? The Heartland Homesteaders Conference in Kentucky. It's just, again, for us, we have to have a milker. We have a pretty substantial farm. when it comes to moving animals and milking and all
Milking
that.
is
So
the big thing, which that's exactly
it's
what
hard for us to get away.
VW was talking about. You
Yeah.
know, last night on their live. I wasn't able to get on. Colby was able to get on and talk to him for just a little while, and that's what they were saying. Like finding a milker, like when you have a very big property with a lot of animals and a lot of responsibility, like you can't just pack up and go. I mean, we used to.
Hard. Yeah, it's hard for us. It really is.
But we don't anymore. I mean, you just can't.
It really is.
And
hard.
if you do, you have to have somebody on farm to tend that's willing to tend to the chores, even if they're not so pleasant.
North Star Prep Center, we don't even use the word cupboard. We use go check the kitchen cabinet, or I don't even know if we really say pantry around here. I don't. Just check the cabinet.
The drawer in the cabinet.
The drawer in the cabinet. And we say drawer as not like DRAWER. We say it as like DROOR. Drawer. It's not drawer. It's a drawer.
Oh gosh.
So I'm glad that we've learned the word.
I'm sure that they get a kick out of how we talk, especially them folks that's from Alaska.
The cupboard. See, we don't use cupboard.
We don't say cupboard.
That's new for us. We don't really say cupboard at all.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if we call it a pantry. I mean, really, we don't. We just say check the cabinet.
I say cabinet.
Right now, because we're such preppers, we have half our pantry is in our kids' room and JJ's room. So we're usually saying, okay, check the cabinet or go check the baby's room.
Yeah, a lot of northern folks say soda pop.
Oh my gosh.
We call it either Coke or Sprite or whatever it says on the can is what we call it. I only have a 2-acre farmstead and find it hard to consider 2 horses, meat, chickens, and sometimes
2 fries short of Big Mac. I thought you said 2 horse meat. And I was like, whoa, that's a little much.
2 horses. That's just not common there.
Yeah, it's hard for us to find anybody that wants to come work our farm.
They used to store raw meat in lard, which is why they would call it a larder.
That is cool. Rehab Life says, Misty, I'm Southern. I still love hearing you talk.
Yeah, I have to say, I got a pretty Southern slang. I guess I just always have.
Britches, yeah.
Yep, britches is a Southern word.
Yeah,
go put your britches on. I don't say britches as much as I say pants, but I know what britches.
I only say jeans. That's what we just say pants. Yeah.
I know what britches are though.
You have your dark pants on or your light pants on. It's just jeans, really.
Yeah.
We just call them pants. Hey, Southern Blessed, another Mississippi folk. Thank you for coming on. Roll Tide. My sister lives in Tuscaloosa, Simply Southern Roots, so she would agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yep. Yonder.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
How many O's are in on? So you say on?
On. Yeah. Well, that's one thing too. I think that makes my southern slang so much worse is I have such a drawl with it too.
That's my favorite word, Vicky. She said, "Fixing to."
Me?
Yeah, we're fixing to do this. We're fixing to do that. We're fixing to do that. I have a gentleman who works for me and works with me who's from the north. He lived in North Illinois, and he always looks at me and says, "Why do you talk like that? I mean, y'all don't make any sense with what y'all say."
He's very, very proper in his speech.
And he has a good enunciation.
Yes,
so he laughs at us.
Because I'm probably the world's worst of.
Betsy Farmer, thank you so very much.
I'm probably the world's worst of my English and
oil. See, a lot of people say oil.
We say oil.
Like OLL, oil.
Yep. But your accent is awesome.
What's so funny is
my accent with a long drawl.
We're in South Mississippi, so if you go more south than us, you're in Cajun and Creole country.
Even more.
Yeah, it gets really, really thick and heavy. So it's funny how we're so different than. I mean, just 2 hours away from us in the New Orleans area.
They pounded on them in northern Illinois. Yeah, Illinois. That's the first time I ever heard somebody say oil. I was talking to a girl from Illinois, and she was talking about baby oil, And I was like, what are you talking about? It's called baby oil.
Huh.
So it's amazing to me how we're all from the United States, but at the same time, in different regions, we have different accents that make us sound so different that it's so.
Like Carly, my sister's on, and she said, there, it's not hello and goodbye, it's just roll tide. So I see that. She is a transplant, so. We still laugh every time you say manure.
Manure.
So, manure. That's funny. Yeah, like
Sherry's in Richland, so she's not very far away from us at all.
That's not far at all. Yeah. Yeah, we know where Richland is, and we know where Greenville is. Actually, we had to go through
that
Greenville
just
not too long
sounds
ago.
weird. Oil.
Yeah, oil. We just say oil. Carly, you'll probably know about before the rest of everybody, I guess, because you're family. But we have not picked out the full name yet.
We have a first name. We don't have a middle name yet. That remind me in a minute. There's a name that I like, but Colby said it sounds old school.
I like old school, but that one might be a little too old school.
Oh my gosh, it's not that old school. It's really cute.
Yeah, no. Have you ever noticed though? I always laugh at Misty because we say y'all, and just in every talking, I mean that's what we do, just y'all. But I laugh because when we do our
Sometimes I say
videos,
you guys.
when we do our videos,
I
she'll say you guys, and I'm like, you never say you guys.
I do
what
say
are
you
you
guys.
talking about?
Not when we're talking, like in text. I do say you guys, not too. But we
y'all
do
go
say
back and watch your
y'all a
videos.
lot.
Go back and watch the videos. If we're trying to talk to y'all instead of just doing a typical vlog, Misty always says you guys, and I laugh so hard because she never talk. We never say you guys. You can have it.
Is it old school like
Beatrice?
Beatrice.
It's pretty old school.
It's not that old school.
Everybody needs to say y'all. That's just normal. I had somebody on one of our videos the other day. I mean, just hound us. They're like, y'all's not even a word. Why are y'all saying y'all?
I put that on Homesteaders of YouTube on Facebook.
And then all of a sudden, there was somebody right back at them said, y'all is in the dictionary and quoted the whole dictionary.
It's actually a contraction word for you all.
So I laughed. I thought it was really funny. I didn't have to answer it. Somebody else answered it.
I don't try to get in conversations with. Kobe was like, thanks for watching. Engagement is good, no matter what you say.
I know. I always love it. What's so funny is, of all the videos that we've done, the video that's got the least likes, or the ones that's got the most thumbs down, is a milking rewreview video of a milk machine. I'm like, who turns down a milking review?
They didn't like what you had to say.
I guess not. I guess they thought it's pretty crappy.
I say y'all all the time. Yeah, and that's one thing I'm like, well, if y'all was not a word, then why'd I just say it?
We say it all the time.
Y'all isn't a word. Well, I just said it, and then it's a word.
As long as it's not Bertha, Helga, or Griselda. It's not those for sure.
No. It's actually a really cute name. If I can get him convinced on the middle name, then we'll go for it. I actually like Everly, which is what I really wanted to name. I really wanted to name her Everly. But Kobe's like, we already have a girl her name starts with the E, and we can't have two E's, and the rest of all it would be different.
OCD,
and
I'm sorry.
like,
it's not Matilda or Madeline. We'll have to make a video on it. Or we'll have to poll it. We'll have to do like a multiple choice poll.
Yeah. If we can I mean, I like the name, but I have to get Colby convinced that it's not an old
We've had a lot of people
name.
say Bertha and Edna tonight. Oh my gosh. Hey Amy, how are you?
Well, I liked Everly, but I couldn't get him to agree on that, so we did pick a different name. We can just get her middle name nailed down, then we'll be.
It'll probably be like the night before we actually have this baby, before we actually finalize it. I'm just joking.
I like the name. Okay, so A, E, H, S, and J are all out.
You're
that
incorrect.
Is right.
It's actually all initials. So it's AP for Aiden, EB, HR, SK, and JG are all out. So 10 of the 26 are
Do you
gone.
see this? So I'm like, what letters do you have left? I mean, are we gonna name her Xavier?
No, we don't let the internet name our child either. We have looked at some names and we can't. We just can't do it. We just can't do it. Misty says it's actually got to be a real name.
Yeah,
like
he
some
was
of the names
like
we looked at,
making.
we're like, gosh, these don't even make sense.
He was like spitting off names. I'm like, did you just come up with that? I mean,
Simply Southern Roots, great. And we're glad that you picked up some subscribers for sure. If you don't know some of the channels on here, go check them out. They're pretty awesome.
absolutely. Miss Beth said, "Hey, Harlan." Hey, Victoria is a great middle name. Victoria is one of those older names too. I mean, obviously, this is
well, if we have any more fancy farmer, we're gonna quit worrying about letters. We're gonna start naming kids just like by the numbers, like 10 and 14.
Did y'all see that? I thought Everly was such a cute name. Everly, Everly. Not with a B. He was like, it sounds like Beverly, and I don't like Beverly. So blah blah blah. And then he wouldn't let me do the E's. He wouldn't let me use the E.
Kathy, we talked about Vivian. Actually,
my
wife really.
I like the name Vivian, and Colby was like, I don't really like it that much.
I didn't care. I just said it wasn't like it didn't just like change my life or anything.
We actually did discuss Vivian. I think yesterday or the day before.
Oh my gosh, we've been on for an hour. We got nothing accomplished other than baby talk tonight. Didn't you realize that? Coral and
you said
Cora.
Yeah, Colby liked Cora, but I wasn't crazy about Cora.
Everly, she was talking about cute. Evie is actually a name of a cow that Aiden has, so I don't think we can go with that. It might be a little weird.
Evie is really cute too.
That is cool. Though.
Well, he won't let me use the letter E. Did y'all see that?
She cares. Look, she is like. Tired. She needs a cup of coffee. You need a cup of coffee? All I can say is I'm glad I know what larder is. I'm glad to know y'all got a lot of chickens going on. Everybody seems like they have chicken stuff. Thank y'all so much for coming on. Go check your larders. Make sure they're full and prepped up. And check your check your pantries and make sure you have plenty of pop. And you'll be ready to roll for the week and weekend, I guess.
We have the Ellie Bell.
Henry's honeys, we're leaving, man. I'm sorry. Thank you for coming on, though. All right, guys, check your larders. We'll talk to you later.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.